Camera number 137 of 365, and it's a Praktica electronic BCX. Very pleased to have the addition of this camera. I've had a couple of them and they've never worked, so this one has excelled those previous ones and actually works very well. And hopefully you can see the end of the video, the pictures that come from the camera. But it's a camera that has a single manual shutter speed. I think it must be something like a 90th or 100th of a second. So the camera can be used in that way without a battery. But if we want to harness all of the electronic, i.e. the aperture controlled, it's an aperture controlled camera, then we need a battery. So let's just put a battery into the base of the camera. The battery is a single 4SR44 6.2 volt battery, and we put positive terminal on the right. Let's put that in first actually, otherwise it doesn't go in. There we go. Close the door. While we're on the base, notice there is provision to fit a motor wind. I don't have one, but there is that option, and then a little button that we can press to deactivate our film advance, and then we can wind our film back in. So looking at the front of the camera, notice it's fitted with a Pentagon Praktica 2.4 50mm lens. And to take the lens off, we simply depress the button with the red dot and rotate it. And we can see it has 3 terminals that communicate with the camera, presumably to give distance and aperture, perhaps, or certainly aperture. I don't know whether you can make out the pattern on the window there, just for the meter, just a little pattern. So we have a sync port for flash on the right hand side there, and on the left we have our self timer. The little button is currently stuck on with a bit of blue tack. It actually came off, so that's currently held in with blue tack, and it's activated by just pressing the button. There we go. And then should we use a manual lens, or presumably a manual lens, I would have thought most of these were electronic. We do have a stop down meter. Perhaps if we used a adapter with a manual lens, then, I mean, these are all manual, obviously manual focus, but they don't have the, if we have a lens that doesn't have those 3 terminals, or a screw thread, and we have an adapter, then we can use this stop down lever on that occasion. Okay, let's put the lens back on. Looking to the top plate on the left, we have our film speeds that we lift up and rotate. We also have exposure compensation, +2, -2. There is a lock button, little silver button there, that we press and then we can unlock that. And then just to the right of that is a battery test. Looking through the viewfinder, we have our shutter speeds along the right hand side there, and then on the bottom we have our aperture, which I thought was interesting because the window is actually at the top, so presumably it reads it at the top here and then obviously gets conveyed down to the bottom of the window. On the right hand side we have automatic, which is aperture controlled mode, and then if we want we can go into manual, and our top shutter speed is 1/1000th of a second. Our film advance and film counter, and then film shutter actuation button. To open the film door, we just simply lift the rewind crank, and then that allows us to put our film into the camera. So there we go. Camera number 137 of 365, the Praktica electronic BCX.